Hey, church, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for another devotional. Now, I want to give a shout out to some men today. It is the men who use these devotionals in their groups or with a son or a friend or a neighbor or even their spouse. Thank you for doing it with somebody else because that creates accountability, right? So, guys, this is for you today. I pray that you'll view this or share it or use it in ministry with someone else. It's John chapter 14. I'm going to read verses 8 through 11 in my scripture journal, which you can get the scripture journal for John from our website. It's a great way to support our ministry. It reads this way. Philip said to him, that's to Jesus, Lord, show us the Father, and it's enough for us. Jesus said to him, have I been with you so long and you still do not know me, Philip? You can feel the kind of the sadness of Jesus here. Whoever has seen me has seen the Father. How can you say, show us the Father? Do you not believe that I am in the Father and the Father is in me? The words that I say to you, I not speak on my own authority, but the Father who dwells in me does his works. Believe in me that I am in the Father and the Father is in me, or else believe on account of the works themselves. So at this point, Jesus is clearly a little disheartened, I would say. I would assume he feels a little bit like a discouraged parent or discouraged teacher who has students or children who he's said something to like 1,000 times who still don't get it. Remember, this whole dialogue with these guys was instigated by questions about where Jesus was going that they could not go, right? And keep in mind, right now, at this moment in the story, we are at fourth and goal in the last moments of Jesus' life. I mean, these are some of the last times he's going to ever be with these men, so he needs them to get it. So he says it to them plainly again. You have seen me, and when you have seen me, you have seen the Father. Do you get it? Now, I think the spiritual journey is just like that. We have to learn and relearn and learn again, don't we? At least I have found this to be true in my life. For example, let's just consider one aspect of our spiritual journey. It's understanding God's grace. Just think about that for a second. I cannot recount how many times I've had to learn, relearn, and learn again about God's grace. Because in the early part of my spiritual journey, I had one understanding of it. Later, another, and then still today, another. It's been this constant expanding understanding of the greatness of God's grace to me and the infinite reaches and effect that this has on my life. I would love to boast and say that like 30 years ago, I really understood this well when I made my profession of faith, but I didn't. And like these disciples here, my understanding back then was minuscule compared to what I understand now. True? Of course it's true. I also assume that when I get to heaven, my understanding of God's grace will be infinitely more and greater than it is in this time and place. So here's the application. Listen carefully. Keep asking and keep saying stupid things to Jesus because he never tires of saying the same thing again and again and again and again to you. If you are willing to learn and listen and apply. Because that's what disciples do. They put themselves out there. So that they can be taught, which is what Philip does here. And when Jesus responds, fellas, pay attention. He might be saying the same thing to you again for the umpteenth time. But maybe this time you'll listen and it will blow your mind. I love you guys. I pray this will bless you. If it has, share it with someone else. And I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.